Yo, what's going on everybody? Servo here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally going to discuss a pretty controversial topic. I usually don't like to include these on my channel just because it can bring some negativity, but I believe after seeing everyone comment on stuff like my previous videos here within our community, I know our community has been absolutely amazing with just discussing these topics like in the comment section below, so I am not worried about that. I know everybody in the comments are going to be respectful for the most part. Make sure that, because this is going to be like a discussion thread, so if you guys have any opinions, any thoughts on this, definitely feel free to share down below. Let's just keep it. You can definitely express if you're unhappy with some of the things that are going on. Just don't, attack anyone in the comments. Everyone is allowed to have their opinion, be respectful. And yeah, so let's just have a nice little proper discussion about things, and I'm going to give you guys my views on it also. And we're also going to see some of the other stuff that's going on revolving around Dreamlight Valley. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to check out Scrooge's shop really quickly. Let's just get a nice little positive note in there, unless he does me dirty and doesn't give me anything. But alrighty, let's go check it out. Alrighty, what do we have today? Nothing. Oh, we have a new wallpaper. What is this? A gray concrete and pale tile wallpaper. I'll take it. I will literally take any new wallpaper that we can get. Okay, a nice little table here. Pick that up. And then what is this? Oh my gosh, I got 3 new items. This one's from Tangled. We have Rapunzel coming to the game. I wonder if we're going to start seeing more like Rapunzel items, like Tangled items, now that she's announced to actually come. Because remember when Belle was announced to come? Look at this, we have a Tangled bed right here too. What are the chances? But yeah, like when Belle was coming to the game, we all started getting like Beauty and the Beast items like crazy. I wonder if they like turn up the rates for it. I don't know, but I will definitely take all the Tangled items because they are super cute. Alrighty, let's head over to Twitter and look at today's announcement, because they actually announced something new today. Alrighty, so before we jump into that, I do want to give you guys the latest. So just like 30 minutes ago, they posted a third reason to check out Disney Dreamlight Valley Showcase. You'll embark on a magical journey as we unveil our expansion, A Rift in Time. The expansion is going to include new friends, which is going to be Gaston, Eve, and Rapunzel. New biomes and a whole new adventure. So we're actually getting like 2 things. So we're getting the free update, and then we're getting this expansion. So the free update is the one that's going to have like Jack Skellington in it and just some other stuff. This one is going to be paid, and I think this is what most people are a little bothered by, is because this one, A Rift in Time, is the one that's including the new biomes, the new friends, and a whole new adventure. So I think we all originally thought that when they said that the game like Act 2 and all that's going to be completely free and we're going to get new biomes and stuff, I think we thought that was part of the free part of the game, like the core part of the game. And then here it's showing that the new biomes and stuff is part of the paid expansion, so that's going to be an additional $30 to you. So that's one issue, and the other issue is the whole free-to-play aspect. They did lead people on for the past year explaining that the game's going to be free-to-play, and they kind of dropped the ball there at the end, which is bad on Gameloft. But yeah, so that's the issue. I do believe everyone has a right to be upset when it comes to these things, just because when you first got the game in early access, you were led on to believe that free to play was going to come out in 2023. They actually put so much emphasis on it. And then now that we're here at the end, they're changing their mind. Now, I understand why they changed it, and I am not too bothered that they did change it for a couple reasons, which I'm going to dive into. And keep in mind, I'm going to try and stay as unbiased as I possibly can, because I want to see their point of view, and I definitely see our point of view. It going to free to play is not necessarily a good thing. The positives are, of course, that you would actually be able to just have it for multiple platforms. Like, I don't want to have to keep rebuying the game over and over. I know you guys don't want to have to keep rebuying the game over and over. One thing, how it is good is, one, there's less trolls on the game, right? Like, we start seeing a lot more like inappropriate dream snaps and stuff. Imagine if the game was free to play and every time someone got banned, they would just go and make a new account just to wreak havoc on the game, you know, just to completely destroy Dream Snaps, just constantly upload inappropriate pictures. All they would have to do is make a quick new profile, burn through the very short tutorial, and then they'd be back at it. So there are a lot of people that live for that kind of thing, and I do know that we would constantly be getting submissions like that. If they at least paywall it, you know, there's not as much incentive for that person. Like, they would really have to want to do some trolling if they were going to go that route. I don't think people are going to do that. So that's one way. Now, another thing it's bad is just because of the whole overall broken promise, and it's bad on Gameloft too, because they should be aware that they should be gaining our trust instead of breaking our trust. So I have no doubt that months ago they already knew they were not going to release free to play, and I think that they should have explained that to everybody and been upfront about it, and I think people would have been more relaxed about the issue, and we would have, you know, because a lot of people are thinking it's going free to play like within a month or two. And then, you know, you're going to want your friends to get it. Or then there's the people that just want to play the game so badly, but they just cannot afford the $30 price point, you know. A lot of people are going to be like that. They're just not going to be able to afford the game, but they want to play it. And so now, to those people that have been waiting, they've been watching videos, live streams, they've been doing the research, ready to dive in, they don't have access to the game anymore like they thought they were going to have here in December. So that is just absolutely terrible to me. Now, another reason it's a good thing is because for us that have already been playing the game, we're not going to have as many microtransactions in the game. I can tell you, when the game goes free to play games are just absolutely horrendous. They are terrible. They implement some gacha mechanics. They could possibly do some loot boxes. They could just paywall so much stuff, so much content. So us only having to pay the $30 for the second year's worth of content, if it is a full year's worth of content, that is a lot better to me than the alternative, because this is a game where we want to collect things. This is a thing where we want a game that we want everything, right? And then I am already spending way too much money on this game, way more than I would like. And if they implemented all that stuff, oh man, look how bad we would want to actually purchase this stuff. Now, of course, they did implement Dream Snaps, which is nice, but with the amount of microtransactions that we probably would have gotten if it went free to play, there's no way we could keep up with it. I actually did a video on how much it would cost for the current microtransactions that are in the game, and it was like over 400. It was like, yeah, it was like $430 or some crazy number like that. Imagine if the game went to free to play, because that was like $430 in just 1 year. So at least this way we're gonna pay $30, or you don't have to, and then we can move forward. And I don't think they're really going to paywall anything else except maybe through Moonstones. Now, one thing they could have done was charged us the expansion with Moonstones. Like, let that be an option too. Like, we could have just paid 20,000 or 30,000 Moonstone, or no, actually, when it been like that, you get $50 is 14,000 Moonstones. Yeah, so they could have just charged us like 10,000, 15,000 Moonstones to be able to get the expansion pass. That way, the people that can't afford the expansion, or they just don't want to spend more money on this game, they could still earn it from playing the game, because playing the game is still going to net the developers some money, especially in advertising and stuff too. So that was one option they could have went about this. Now, as to why Gameloft is probably doing this is, to be honest, gaming is so expensive. Now, Dreamlight Valley is pretty much like a AAA title. It's not something that an indie developer just quickly whipped up, you know? So there are some of these games, and I'm just going to use Call of Duty and Fortnite for an example. They can cost over $1 billion to make. Now, I know this game is nowhere near the scale of those games, but the amount of people... Do you guys remember the credit screen after Act 1, how long it ran? It ran like 20 minutes. Those are people... Those are different companies. They have to pay all of this. They have to pay for the license. Disney is taking a cut out of Gameloft's money for being able to even allow them to use this. And they are implementing a multiplayer, so they're going to have to pay for servers. Like, trust me when I say this game is no joke. It is extremely expensive. So I feel like they were at the point, especially when they were so generous giving us all these Moonstones from Dream Snaps, they saw a heavy decline and Moonstone purchases, which was the main way they were funding the game. So I do believe that to keep this game running and to keep it on track and on schedule, they are going to have to find an alternate method to fund it. So that's where they introduced the $30 expansion pass. So I definitely see their side of it, but I do think they handled it extremely, extremely poorly. They should have brought this up a long time ago, because they didn't just start losing money out of nowhere, you know, like this past month. This is something that they've known about, I'm sure. So either way, no matter how they go about this, it's not going to be a win-win. You know, there's just too many hands involved on both sides. I think in the end, it's going to be okay. And also, we also don't know all of the fact shit, right? Like, so the showcase that they're doing is their first step forward to actually communicating with us. So this right here is like the big thing, you know, like I said, locking this stuff behind a paid expansion is not good. So they are paywalling these characters, and then they're paywalling the biomes, and then a whole new adventure. Surely surely this is not Act 2 that they're talking about, because I remember reading in their like webpage that Act 2 was part of like the core game, and then they were going to like have the core game always be free. So I actually pulled this up to see what it said, and they actually updated it 2 days ago. So they said, will there be any paywalls, microtransactions, real time, blah, blah, blah. I could spend money on to accelerate. This is the same title as before. This right here is the same as before. This is what it looks like they added. So they said, after leaving early access, we will offer optional paid story expansions that bring significant amounts of new content to the game, building upon the existing full base game experience with new story arcs, gameplay mechanics, and content to discover. So to me, that kind of sounds like it could be Act 2 that is behind the paywall, but we'll have to wait and see. Paywalling characters does seem pretty wild to me, just because these characters intertwine with like most other characters in the valley, most quests and stuff. So does that mean these people, these three characters, will always be in their own separate quest lines? They'll never be part of the main story? I could see that, you know, like Gaston's not really a super main character. We do have Eva, though. I feel like she's a character that would always be tied within any new content, any new story mode. So then how would they do the main story for the people that don't purchase the expansion if these characters are paywalled? And we weren't sure fully if they were paywalled, but like they said right here, you'll embark on a magic journey as we unveil our expansion, and then in the expansion is new friends. So maybe they're not even talking about these characters. I mean, I guess they would have to be. It says a rift in time right here. So it does look like they are paywalled, and not just the biomes. We have some new like vegetables here. It looks like this is like a radish. Looks like 3 new crops right here. We have a new pets that you could probably go out and actually tame, just like you would any of the other ones. We got the cobra here, the monkey. So it looks like they are all paywalled. And then you have all these giant biomes. We got new ores and stuff. So ultimately, I think it's worth the $30 with the amount of content that we're getting. And I also don't see why they shouldn't do expansions. Every game does paid expansions, you know, so like why should they not be able to do an expansion? It shouldn't be just we pay $30 and then we have the game and all the free updates for years and years and years. That doesn't make sense. A company would go bankrupt so fast. So an expansion every year for $30 is not that bad, because most games have expansions every like 6 months or so, especially if you ever played an MMO. It gets pretty crazy. It gets pretty crazy expensive. I play a lot of Destiny 2, and let me tell you, my brother started jumping in on that game, and even though it has free to play for the core of the game, to get him fully caught up, it was like $500 worth. So he had to pay like $500 just to have access to everything. So the free-to-play route, trust me, is not always a good option. Doing a $30 paid expansion is definitely a lot better, in my opinion. So I am seeing a lot of very like negative comments when it comes here. Like I said, luckily we haven't seen too much of that in our community. Everyone, when they are negative about it, they are like, do it in a respectful manner, which is always the best thing, because you can always voice your opinion, and I believe everybody should always be able to voice their opinion. Just some of the comments are a little rude and pretty blunt to other members of the community, like over here on Twitter. I mean, like Twitter and Reddit and stuff like that. But it's the internet, so that's to be expected. So I actually posted this like 30 minutes ago. I put, "You had me at new biomes." A lot of people are very excited, but then you also get like this comment here. Someone said, "I'm not paying $50 to keep my game and then paying for DLC updates on top of that." See, that's what I don't understand. Like, every game has paid DLCs, like it's downloadable content. So then they said, "Why can't we use moonstones to unlock the paid version?" Okay, so that's what we can agree on. Yeah, I definitely think they should allow it. That way, they're still getting those people that are going to help fund the game, and then you get the people that might not be able to afford it. They can use their moonstones through earning them, you know. So they could do that. They could even charge even more moonstones than the original $30 worth. So instead of it being like 15,000 moonstones, if you're going to go the like free to play route without paying hard cash for the DLC, they could have made it like 20,000 moonstones. That way people could save up, and they also could have announced this months ago. That way people could have saved up to buy the expansion. So at the end of the day, like I said, it doesn't look like, you know, anyone's going to be happy with this. I don't really think there's too many more options that could make everyone happy. The only solution I could see was them being more transparent with us. So I definitely think they dropped the ball on that, and I hope going forward they improve. But this is the situation we're in. It's going to go free to play at a later date. $30 if you want to continue the game and the story. So for my overall personal opinion, I'm pretty happy. Besides them not being transparent, I'm pretty happy with how it is. I will more than gladly pay the additional $30 to get the content, because to me it looks like it's worth it. It looks like a lot. I mean, with how expensive everything is already, man, you could go to a restaurant and spend more than that in one night. You could go to Taco Bell and get like 3 quesadillas for the price of $30, you know. So paying $30 for this, which is a game that brings me enjoyment and I have so much fun with, and especially now that they're opening up multiplayer, so I'll be able to play with all you guys, view the communities, valleys and everything. To me, that's worth it, because like I said, you could burn through $30 just at a restaurant in one night. This is something that's going to entertain me for the entire next year and years to come, actually, because that content's always going to be there. So I'm happy they're not going free to play, just for the fact that I know what free to play means. I've been gaming ever since I was like 5 years old, and free to play is never a good thing. And I definitely would not be on here, especially with a game tied to Disney, because you have to remember, Gameloft, I don't know what their percentage is, but I imagine they're losing a heavy percentage of money to Disney just for the license and the rights, and then, you know, getting the voice actors and stuff, because, you know, getting them voice actors are not cheap. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. It is definitely a bummer to everybody that is not able to get it, but it would be the same as another like new game was coming out. Let's say it was $60, right? Like a single player was coming out, and you really want to play that game, but you just can't get it yet. At least this game, it is on the cheaper spectrum, just to get the base game and then to get the expansion. So buying both of those together at their base forms is like $60 total, and you're going to have hundreds of hours worth of content. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's worth it. And then also the whole Dream Snaps thing, they didn't even need to add that many moonstones in the like that we can obtain every single week. So the amount of money you're actually saving by getting Dream Snaps is a lot. So say they gave the game free to play and they didn't charge you for the expansion, I don't think we would have had the rewards of Dream Snap like moonstones that we're having now. So then we would be paying all this extra if you wanted premium items. Most games, again, back to like Fortnite and stuff, you could pay $15-20 for one single skin on there just for your character. We're paying like $30 for an entire new experience. Like literally the game we have now, they're doing it again. Like we're having a completely new island with biomes, characters, story, new mechanics, new tools. Like it's like we're getting the entire Dreamlight Valley game again, and to me that is so incredibly exciting. But that's it for me. Let me know your guys' opinion. I definitely want to know about it. I hope you guys have a really wonderful day, and I will definitely read all of your comments below, so feel free to discuss amongst yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next one.